Two shadows in the desert. The desert stretched endlessly in every direction, barren and scorched under the unforgiving sun. Adam had been walking for what felt like hours, his boots crunching over dry earth and bleached rock. The heat shimmered in waves, warping the air around him like a mirage. But his resolve didn't falter. He wasn't here by accident. He was following a map, or more precisely, a letter. Adam was 20 years old, tall and lean, with dark hair tousled by the wind and eyes that had seen more than most people twice his age. There was a stillness in him, a strange quiet, as though a storm lived behind his calm expression. He didn't scare easily. He didn't run. He fought. He stood before the rusted hatch of what looked like an old military installation, half buried beneath a dune. The metal door was covered in sand and age, but a small black plaque was still visible, worn down to almost nothing. Test Site B, Echo Seed, and Ouroboros snake logo on the top. Adam looked down at his arm. It was just like the one he had. He wasn't sure when or where he got it, but combined with this strange letter he received, it had sparked a curiosity he could not ignore. His hand hesitated only briefly before he pulled the lever beside the door. A groan of metal echoed as the hatch opened, releasing a stale breath of air. Far from here, lurking in the depths of a forgotten forest, moved the wolf. The wolf creature, a towering beast of sinew and fury, eyes glowing with unnatural intelligence, stalked silently beneath twisted trees. Once human, now transformed by the tangled horrors of Ouroboros' experiments, he was both hunter and guardian, feared by all who caught a glimpse. Though separate, the two shared an unbreakable bond, one bound by blood, one by fate, both trapped in a never-ending loop. Back in the desert, Adam unfolded the letter again. The words burned bright in his mind. If you're reading this, it means the loop has begun anew. Find Site B, find Eve. The sun was swallowed by a gathering storm as the wolf stalked toward the sprawling Ouroboros headquarters. A fortress of steel and shadows, half buried in the desert's jagged cliffs, a place whispered about in nightmares and classified reports. This was the epicenter of the corruption that had twisted his world, the root of the endless suffering clawing at the edges of reality. It was here that the Ouroboros collective had pushed the boundaries of nature, unspooling time, reshaping flesh, and warping minds. Adam's Lupin instincts sharpened as he crossed the threshold. The facility's entrance was a cavernous maw of concrete and rusted metal, guarded by silent sentinels and sealed by complex locks, but nothing could hold him back. Inside, the stale air reeked of antiseptic and decay. Flickering lights barely illuminated long corridors, lined with observation windows darkened and shattered. Behind them lay the remnants of humanity, victims, subjects, and monsters born from twisted ambition. The Ouroboros collective, their name, a serpent biting its own tail, had sought dominion over time and life itself. Their experiments sought to unravel cause and effect, to rewrite fate through genetic alteration and temporal manipulation. At the center of it all was Project Echo Seed, a machine capable of sending information back through time, a weapon to reshape the past and future in their image. Adam paused before a sealed chamber, his sharp senses catching faint movements beneath the surface, subtle, almost imperceptible twitching of shadow and flesh. Behind a reinforced glass was a grotesque nest of writhing parasites, the brain spiders. Their many-legged bodies clung to the walls and ceilings, pale and slick like newborn horrors. Their spindly limbs ended in razor-sharp claws that clicked against metal with unnerving precision. At the center of each was a bulbous, pulsating brain, grotesquely merged with the human tissue of their hosts. These parasites were Ouroboros' greatest failure and darkest triumph. Designed to augment human cognition, the brain spiders had instead fused with their hosts, corrupting mind and body alike. The parasite could retract entirely inside the skull, hiding the infection from sight, turning unsuspecting victims into unknowable monsters. Adam's growl echoed as he sensed the lingering presence of these horrors, victims trapped in permanent symbiosis, walking among the facility's ghosts. He moved carefully, aware that any misstep could trigger an ambush of lethal parasites. In a dimly lit control room, Adam found Detective Ralston waiting, surrounded by stacks of dusty files and flickering monitors. "You made it," the detective said grimly, handing over a thick dossier. "This is everything we've pieced together," he said. "Ouroboros isn't just some shadowy cult. They're rewriting reality, using these parasites and the Echo Seed machine to loop time itself." The wolf's eyes glinted with determination. And Claire, she's both a victim and a weapon, wrongfully imprisoned, transformed, and used as a key piece in their experiments. The more we learn, the more it's clear her escape wasn't a breakout. It was part of Ouroboros' plan. Together, they navigated deeper into the compound, dodging crawling brain spiders that clung to the ceilings and walls like a living web. The parasites skittered with terrifying speed, their many legs clicking and clacking as they hunted. Each room they passed bore the scars of failed experiments, shattered tanks, blood-stained notes, recordings of screams echoing from long ago. Then came the chamber where Claire waited. Her body flickered with unnatural shadows, the parasite's influence visibly twisting her flesh. Yet beneath it all burned a tragic humanity. Her eyes locked on Adam's, fierce and desperate. "You don't understand what we're fighting for," she whispered, voice a rasp like dry leaves in a storm. "Ouroboros isn't evil. They want to fix the broken timeline, the Red Plague. The mutations, all part of a cycle that must end." Adam's claws dug into the concrete floor as the tension tightened. "No more cycles, no more suffering," he growled. The battle was cataclysmic. Claws tore through shadow and flesh. Claire's powers surged with inhuman speed, her form shifting and contorting with the parasite's will. Adam's strength and ferocity matched her blow for blow. The facility trembled, machines sparking, glass shattering as the echo of their fight shook the very walls. Between strikes, Claire's voice broke through, pained and urgent. "We're trapped in Ouroboros' loop, Adam. Every victory, every loss, just repeats. The only way out is through destruction." Adam's teeth bared. "Then I'll end it here now." Suddenly, the air shimmered, and her form flickering between monstrous and human-like, eyes glowing with a cruel light. "You think you can stop me? I am the Vector. I am the loop itself. Without me, none of this happens." With a wave of her hand, the room twisted, walls stretched into impossible angles, and gravity shifted like a tide. Adam lunged, claws swiping through distortions as they stretched into multiple dimensions. Each strike sent ripples through space, the fight cascading across realities, corridors folding onto themselves, colors bleeding out of existence, time warping erratically. Claire's laughter echoed like a dark symphony. Back in the main control room, Detective Ralston raced to the Echo Seed. "Adam, I'm sending a message back, a letter to myself. It's the only way to start unraveling this." The detective knew the words to write, the words that had set him down this path in the first place. He had been here before. He tucked in all the files he had collected and sealed it with the letter. He paused for a moment, then wrote the name Adam on the letterhead. As the fight continued, Adam snarled in pain, fighting Claire's assault with primal fury. Detective Ralston tapped rapidly, hacking through corrupted code, embedding a seed of hope into the fractured timeline. Meanwhile, the battle reached a crescendo. Claire's form blurred, and Adam's massive frame roared as he tore through dimensional barriers. With every blow, Claire's reality-warping powers flared, shards of fractured worlds exploded around them. "Your fight won't save us," Claire hissed, eyes burning bright. "I need this chaos. It's my creation." Adam, battered but unyielding, pinned her down as the space around them began to collapse. As Claire's form dissolved into a maelstrom of light and shadow, the detective and Adam found themselves alone in the wreckage of the facility. "Did it work? Do we break the cycle?" Detective Ralston asked, breathless. Before Adam could answer, the air shimmered again. An older version of Claire appeared, calm and composed, no longer monstrous, but still radiating quiet power. She smiled sadly. You can't end this by fighting. The loop, it will always happen. The only way to break it is to erase the beginning, to make it so none of this ever occurred. Adam growled, stepping forward. How? Claire's smile faded. That, I cannot tell you yet. She laughed softly. After all, you started this in the first place, Adam. As Claire vanished, the room began to distort once more, colors bleeding and warping as time rewound itself. Detective Ralston's eyes widened. Adam looked to the horizon beyond the facility, a desert where sight awaited silently. Detective Ralston whispered, this time, it feels like the last loop. As the world reset, the echoes of their struggle lingered, faint ripples that might one day lead to salvation or doom. The world outside was a broken husk. Year 2137, October 25th. The Red Plague had ravaged cities, twisted nature, and left humanity clinging to the edge of extinction. What remained of civilization huddled in pockets of fragile hope, shadows of a world long lost. But deep in the ruins of a forgotten city, beneath a cracked sky heavy with ash, two figures stood side by side. Adam, the wolf whose strength had shaped fate itself, gazed out across the desolation. His fur, streaked with silver, rippled in the cold wind, eyes reflecting a weary wisdom that only countless battles could forge. Beside him, the older Claire, no longer the twisted monster of legend, but a woman marked by power and experience, watched the horizon with a soft, enigmatic smile. You ever think it ends? Claire asked quietly, voice carrying the weight of years. Adam's gaze didn't waver. I don't know. Maybe it's meant to keep going, the loop to fight the chaos. It's what we are now. She nodded, stepping closer. We survived the plague, survived everything Ouroboros threw at us. We changed the course of time itself. Yet here we stand, still caught in the same cycle. For a long moment, silence hung between them, a fragile peace born from exhaustion and understanding. I'm content, Adam admitted, not with the world, but with us, with knowing that even if the loop never ends, in the end we face it together. Claire's eyes softened. Same here. But the question remains, when do we choose to break it? When do we risk erasing ourselves to save what little's left? Adam turned to her, a faint smile curving his lips. Not yet. The wind whispered around them, carrying faint echoes of battles fought, friendships forged, and futures rewritten. Together, they stood, watchers at the edge of time, bound by fate, ready for whatever awaited them next. After all this is just the beginning, Adam said, as they both activated the Echo seed machine once again. As figure with golden eyes watches from the shadows, a sad smile on its face.